Today is a really, really dark day for women in the U.S.
Roe versus Wade is overruled.
New laws banning abortion are taking effect.
At least 15 states have now ceased nearly all abortion services.
Maybe you're sitting there thinking, I don't know a woman who would have an abortion. Well, you know me. I had an abortion when I was 15 years old. And I'm telling you this because I'm genuinely really scared for women and girls all over this country.
I've always lived in a world where abortion was legal. To think that we had erased 50 years of progress was astounding, and it was sad, and it was angering. I was not in a position where I wanted another child, and so I made the decision to terminate the pregnancy.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
I wanted this baby so bad. I found out at 23 weeks that she wasn't going to survive. I broke down, the type of cry where you can't breathe.
I was planning on getting the abortion.
That's when Roe versus Wade got overturned. I was not able to get the termination. She ended up living for 44 hours. Those 2 days were absolutely horrible because there was nothing that I could do to protect her.
Knowing that she was suffering and me wishing that that was me instead and her being okay, that was incredibly hard.
I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse. The legislators shouldn't feel entitled to force victims who have stories like mine to carry a baby of their rapists. There are women and girls across Kentucky right now who are dealing with the same trauma that I went through.
When life begins in that horrible situation of rape, it is something that God intended to happen.
My daughter was still moving around and her heart was still beating. But they told me that at that point, because I had lost all my fluid, there's nothing that I can do. The doctor looked at me and he said, if I do anything or if I intervene, I will possibly be arrested. I have to go home and deliver my daughter, who will not be alive when she's born.
After 50 years, I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade.
Do you think it's murder, abortion?
I don't disagree with it.
Politicians paint this picture of these evil women that are just out there wanting to kill babies.
All I could hear outside is, you're murdering your child. My child who we prayed for years.
I was a college student. I had books, bills, no money left over. And then when I realized I was pregnant, I knew that I didn't want to be.
Abortion was already very hard to access in Texas. I ended up traveling to Colorado Springs, and thankfully I had a family member who could help me pay for it.
People in Texas are leaving the state and going elsewhere, but travel is a privilege. Despite assistance, there will be people who cannot travel to have abortions.
Individual counties are now banning women from driving on their roads to leave the state to go get an abortion.
There are people who are not able to get abortions, poor women, black women, brown women. We now have an underground abortion railroad, and I think the consequences are severe.
I was 20 weeks and 5 days when I terminated my pregnancy. Her diagnosis was so severe, we knew that she wasn't going to survive no matter which route we went. And so I remember at night I was laying in bed and I just said, she deserves to have a name.
We named our daughter Angelica.
I remember at one point feeling selfish because I wanted her. But then I realized it's not about me. And I didn't want her to suffer.
I had an abortion at 22. My partner at the time was making approximately $10 an hour, and it didn't feel like a place to bring a child into that situation. I worry. I'm scared.
They wanted Roe v. Wade terminated because it was inappropriate. We got it done.
Imagine being told that your baby, some of its brain is missing and the skull is missing. It's heartbreaking. It's devastating. The doctors advised us that we should terminate. But whenever it came down for us to get the procedure, we were denied. I was being forced to carry my baby, to bury my baby. Lawmakers, some of whom don't even understand how pregnancy works, were suddenly given authority over reproductive health decisions.
They discovered that the child I was carrying had a congenital birth defect called hydranencephaly, which is not compatible with life. If I was unable to seek out a late-term abortion because of the month that I was in, this ensured Zoe would live a short and very painful life.
We found out that our daughter, Miley Rose, had multiple fatal fetal conditions to the point that she was deemed incompatible with life. My doctor had told me that if I continued my pregnancy, I'd be putting my life at risk, and that if I chose to get an abortion, I would have to look out of state. I arrived to a clinic in New York City.
But they just did the sonogram, and Miley's heartbeat isn't there anymore. She's already passed.
The baby is born, and then the doctor and the mother determine whether or not they will execute the baby. I don't think so.
A lot of what's talked about is, women who have unwanted pregnancies. But there are so many women who have wanted pregnancies, desperately wanted pregnancies, that have to make really hard decisions.
After which failed pregnancy should I have been imprisoned? Would it have been after the first miscarriage? Would you have put me behind bars after my stillbirth?
They're coming for everybody, no matter what state they're in.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham has introduced a new bill today pushing for a national abortion ban.
A federal judge in Texas invalidated FDA approval of the most common abortion pill.
Thousands of Alabama women desperate for answers after the state Supreme Court issued an unprecedented ruling that frozen embryos are considered children.
Florida's Supreme Court has now paved the way for the state's 6-week abortion ban.
An historic ruling. Arizona's conservative Supreme Court has reinstated an 1864 law.
A near total ban on abortions and a law that was created before Arizona was a state.
I'm heartbroken and I'm outraged. To restrict patients from exercising that basic human right is absolutely unacceptable, and it's cruel.
A patchwork of laws, bans on travel.
It's been complete chaos.
I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade. I was so honored to have done it.
I hope we can use our voices to protect their right to have a safe abortion, which is a right that so many people before us have worked so hard to get.
Across the country, sweeping wins for supporters of abortion rights. In addition to Michigan, voters in California and Vermont codified abortion rights.
Abortion access is the law of the land in Ohio.
When states are having these ballot initiatives go up, abortion wins.
Activists are teeing up state ballot measures in 2024.
It's about
voting. It's about getting men needing to stand up and also speak against this issue.
If you feel like nobody hears you, I do. And I'll tell the world for you.
We're fighting, we're fighting, we're fighting.
There is so much riding on this 2024 election. Voting for pro-choice candidates, reproductive freedom, and so many other things are on the line.